begin?
Oh,
Alright, so I'm gonna name like this segment on the podcast as like I had an idea to call it both sides of the coin, because I feel like the three of us could quite easily see all angles of arguments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
but there's three of us and there's only two sides of the coin.
yeah, well,
Okay, we'll roll with it then.
yeah. So what do you want to talk about? I mean, Tim, I feel like we should talk about drugs. As it was a subject last night Tim wanted to talk about.
I can talk about drugs.
Okay.
I mean,
what are the topics? Have you got any?
the stance. Well, I got a few,
Any
but
other?
where are my notes at? I've got a few around. So we've got a few. Okay, let's.
Serves you right.
Right, well, let's start with this one then. I've got social media and the effect it has on real world friendships. How
Okay,
about that?
I quite like that one. Yeah.
So go on, what's your take?
Have you got like an opening?
Okay, so
Opening line or?
So what do you think? So social media nowadays, as we know, is like the thing, and it's where our society is now in most connection with people. So is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What do we think?
I think social media encourages overthinking, and in our current generation, I think we are a generation of overthinkers. I read something the other day, which was, it was funnily enough on social media, which said that the most blessed generation are the generation born between 1988 and 1995, because that's when, in terms of the transition from that into computing, into the social media age, people born in that time were just born bang on the right time to be able to like have both sides and be not like if you talk about it in like a political term, not completely left wing about social media, not completely right wing about social media, because if I think personally, like looking at the generation before us, and we're just about, me and you are just about in that.
Well, we're 95, 96.
bracket. Yeah.
So.
Like.
Yeah, but really, you have been brought up on your phones, realistically.
Well, we didn't have phones until we were about 15, 16.
No,
I think that's
they
what
were
we're
there
saying.
though. Like, there'd have been kids, I reckon, your
Yeah,
age.
but
that would have had phones.
our generation had flip phones and slider phones that the only thing you could do on them was Bluetooth a gift to your friend.
I remember the days
And call and text.
I remember the days when if you wanted to like share a song with somebody, right,
Yeah.
you had to Bluetooth.
You had to
the
Bluetooth
song.
it.
I remember Bluetooth in like Acom.
Yeah.
When you're like 13,
Yeah.
like on your Sony Xperia or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember doing that.
I think it's the access that current phones give us to social media that is creating a I would say it's a problem. We do seem to lose touch with actual friendship and what it means.
I think it's all in moderation though, with everything. Like, think about how many opportunities that's provided for.
Oh yeah,
a
I'm
lot
not
of
saying.
people, you know what I mean?
I'm not
like,
saying
even
it's
you,
not
like,
a good
you
thing.
probably had, I don't know, like brand stuff through your phone, maybe.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I'm talking specifically
Well,
about.
look at the amount of.
If we're talking specifically about friendships and stuff like that, the technology, or most technology, is a good thing when it's new and it's.
Yeah, but like, quite a lot of friendships have been made, say through social media, because you like what they look like on Instagram. You think you're somewhat relatable to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you go and you DM them, and one thing leads to another.
Right, yeah, from my point of view, I think a big part of social media is the escapism factor, which we used to get through, for lads anyway, and that's a bit of a, what do you call it, presumptuous comment, but, you know, I was brought up playing GameCube and PlayStation, and, you know, I was, for much of my life, I was a only child, so that was like my way of getting out and being adventurous and stuff like that. We don't get me wrong. We climbed trees, built tree houses, did all that kind of stuff as well. But like this escapism was you went into a video game and you played Call of Duty Modern Warfare for like, you know,
hours
4 or 5 hours on blast. Whereas now, I feel like the kids of today, consoles are still big. I don't think they're as big as they were. I feel like the most.
No, they're big. They're definitely bigger.
Right. Well, but I still feel like
gaming is the fastest growing industry in the world right now.
So you're telling me that you think you think gaming is like bigger than say Instagram?
As a whole,
because at what point?
No, but that's
at what point did we
we're
turn
talking
and go,
about.
And turn and go? I'm going to click on Instagram, and
I didn't say it was
and
bigger.
Follow like you'll follow the whole idea of like premise of like following somebody, like is to you're gaining enjoyment from looking at their life, and it's like trying to gauge the balance between how much time you put into interest into somebody else's life. Like I remember someone saying to me, like the first thing I do in the morning is go on Instagram. I get my phone. I go on Instagram.
You or someone
said
that to you?
People say that. That's the first thing I do. I go on Instagram.
Quite a lot of people,
But think about it in this headspace. Then, the first thing you do when you get up isn't even for you. The first thing you do is check on somebody else.
Yeah, it's good idea. Yeah, it's good thinking.
And where they've been, and that's your first go-to of the day. Don't you think that's mad? You know, you said to me just before because I was making my bed, and you were like, "That's the first task for the day." I guarantee that's not the first thing you do in the day, is it? Because you'll go on your phone.
For me, no. I can happily say I get up, go for a piss, and go downstairs.
And you don't check your phone.
I can
Wow, that's good. No, but back to what I was saying. I didn't say gaming was the biggest. I said it was the fastest growing, which it is. It's the fastest growing industry, as in there's more people every day.
But don't you think
I still reckon it was bigger back then?
No. But don't you think the reason it's growing is because of social media? YouTube.
Oh no, of course. I don't dispute that.
So without
Twitch and YouTube and everything like that now have dedicated gaming sections on their platforms.
Yeah.
And it's the biggest industry. ESPN just bought a massive amount. It's well over $1 million worth of Overwatch shares to stream it and put it on ESPN. Esports is a big thing now, and social media is obviously a good thing in that force. What I was trying to maybe get at was, like you said just then, the first thing we do in the morning is check on someone else. Is that really the best thing as for humans?
I don't think we're not seeking to check if they're alright.
No, not
no,
alright.
not.
I'm not looking at it from like
It's a go-to thing.
Do you not follow any? This might just be me because I'm making myself a prime example here. Do you not follow any like travel accounts on Instagram or famous people's accounts on Instagram?
Follow like ASAP Rocky.
Right. Okay. Why'd you follow ASAP Rocky?
I just think he dresses well.
You just so you want to see what outfits he's in, like.
I don't seek it. Like I won't. They won't be the first thing that I do.
But there's an appeal to it.
There's an appeal to see what he's wearing today or stuff like that, or what he's doing today. As I follow like travel accounts, and like accounts of like good photography and stuff like that of New Zealand, for example, or Australia or Japan and stuff like that. Like
it makes you happy seeing.
Because people are seeing the world. This is a harsh reality on myself. I'm following somebody who's viewing the world and doing all these amazing things.
You're one.
Why don't I just do that? I know it's blown out of that's blown up. But what's stopping me from saving not doing that, saving up a load of money, catching the next flight and just doing that? But it's like, well, why would I when I can just. Wake up in the morning at 11:30.
You got your own personal reasons though.
Yeah.
And your own personal goals and aspirations and plan that you've set out ahead.
But still,
you live in the real world.
So why do we?
Hang on, say that again. You live in the real world.
And you live in the real
What
world.
does that mean?
That you can't just up and leave. You've got to go to your job.
Yeah, but I'm talking about if I saved money. If I'm looking at Alexis Wren on Instagram and she goes off all over the place, right?
I don't know who that is.
Right, she's this blogger person, right? And she goes off all over the world. That's her job, right? She's an Instagram influencer, right? what's to stop me putting the phone down, saving up loads of money, and then just doing that myself? But why would I need to do that? In a lot of people's minds, it's like, why would I need to do that when I can wake up at 11:30, look on my phone, the same thing. It's like none of us are going to be professional footballers, but we play FIFA. It's like living through something else. A lot of people do that.
No, because we do. I play FIFA recreationally.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sat there thinking, shit, I want to be
I feel like you're onto something, as in, like, so for Tim, for example, Tim nailed it there, kind of. He recreationally plays football. A lot of people do that, but I think what Adam's trying to get at is that a lot of people subconsciously will live through something else, i.e. social media, and following people.
On a very underlying, without unconsciously.
But although it's underlying, it's fundamental. And that's why it's so hard for someone to say, one of our friends, she said, I'm going off Instagram for a bit, or I'm going off social media for a bit. Annie. So I'm going off social media for a bit. She did it for like, Annie said she did it for like a week, 2 weeks. Like what?
You just want it back though, I feel.
Yeah,
every time I've done it.
But think why. But why are those reasons? Do you feel disconnected from your mates? Do you feel disconnected from the world?
Well, the one big thing about social media is every time you get a like on Instagram or Facebook, your body actually hits you with a shot of dopamine, which is the chemical which produces happiness. Now, that same chemical happens when you have sex. You get hit with dopamine when you have sex. So if something gives you a sensation or a feeling similar to sex, why the fuck are you gonna stop it? You are not. You're gonna want to keep onto it. It was hard. I'm off Facebook now, and that was hard at first. I'm not gonna lie. It was. I was like, shit. And I sort of imagine it as like a lens that you're seeing through. You see through Facebook lens. You see through Instagram lens. I lost that Facebook lens now, and I've actually missed out, quote unquote, on a lot. I don't know a lot of things that are happening in the world now because I'm not on Facebook. If I want,
that brings it back to how we used to be.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean? Well, if I want to find out, I'll go and watch the news.
And this is the other thing, right? Think of all the things that you probably wouldn't be stressed about if you didn't have Facebook. The things you wouldn't know, so you wouldn't be stressed about.
Yeah.
I don't think I get stressed out, baby.
No, Tim, you're looking at it too personal.
No, the main reason why...
Think about the wider group of people. Think about the wider group of people. I know people that vent on Facebook every single day about different things, or will, like...
I mean, how many times do you see, why is the weather like this?
Yeah, exactly, that's what I mean. Think about... And I think that isn't a good form of, like, release or... It's like when... I've never understood this, but I get why people do it. I just don't think I could ever do it myself. You know when like a relative dies and then people will put up something on Instagram or Facebook. It's like that is a way of dealing with grief. Like I could never do it. I don't like that. I don't see, but I understand why. So imagine taking that away. I just feel like it's a big stress. It'd be a stress.
We encountered that the other night, didn't we, Tim? When we were at dinner, someone posted on Facebook that someone was looking at, and instantly that person who was looking at the social media got sad and was like, oh my god, I need to start replying and all this kind of stuff, saying, I hope you're alright. But then another member at the table outlined that, why are you doing that? You've totally jumped over the grieving process, and you're speeding everything up. The way we grow as humans is through hard times, and if you've just gone, my granddad's died, or my friend's died, or something like that, you've then just totally wiped out the process of taking the time and realising what's actually happened. You've just slammed it on social media, and then you've got all these people going,
That's so what I'm saying. Sorry. I feel like self-adjustment is the most imperative form of healing from any situation. It doesn't matter how upset you are, whether you're upset because you fucking dropped your kebab after a night out, or you're upset because someone's passed away. At the end of the day, sometimes when I'm upset, all I want to do is be on my own and just sort it out, like process myself. Like happened the other day, like people texting me checking in if I'm alright. Like the way a normal person would deal with that, be like, thank you very much, I'm fine.
Well,
it just frustrated me. Because I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't know what was wrong. So it's like, how can I explain to somebody else?
So
what's
someone piling on top is just going to make
yeah,
it worse.
yeah, exactly. And that's not that person's fault. That's not anyone's fault. It's just at that moment in time, I was in that headspace, and the only way I was going to get out of that headspace was to sort it out myself and get some sleep.
Yeah.
Those are the two things. And in the morning, it's absolutely fine. But I think there's a time and a place for having that really important group of people around you to help you get through a situation. But then there's a time and a place for individually, like yourself, having to sort that out as well.
Yeah, bringing it back to that though, I reckon the people that are plastering it on Facebook don't have that. So that individual, that individual who put it on FaceUP.
Is it that they don't have it, or is it that they're craving the attention from people that?
It would be both, wouldn't it?
No, but yeah, exactly. But think about it. If they had it, they wouldn't need to crave attention from a wider audience.
Yeah, I've never like I've only got one grandparent left, and you know, I've never once gone on social media.
No,
I know,
this is what I mean. People put things on social media. It's like, oh my god, had the worst day ever. This happened. Yeah. Let's get off the relatives dying thing and get onto mediocre level shit.
But before we do,
like, oh my god, someone scraped my car. What the fuck? Blah, blah.
Before we do though, can I just say, like, the grieving process and why I don't put it on social media is because if someone dies, I mean, I assume you've been to funerals before.
Mm-hmm.
Like that moment and that occasion hits home. You know, that's when it's real, and that's when you're faced with what you actually have to do.
That's the thing, like with something like that, whether it's with something that sort of intimate and personal, you're putting it on the least intimate form of communication that you can. Like, you're putting it on the least intimate form of communication. Like, there's nothing more intimate than just having a private conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
Like, and you're making something that's really intimate, like a funeral or like a death of a loved one, and putting it into something completely opposite. And I just feel like that's a weird. I get why people do it. I just feel like it's a weird premise for me.
It's a release though.
Yeah,
it is a release.
I don't see it as a release. Like,
I can understand
personally,
why people
I would not see it as a release. For me, I view it as not everyone is like malice in this kind of way. Is that I see it as just a form of attention seeking.
No, but you're not taking into consideration, right? I guess I'm trying to play devil's advocate. Look at how connected the world is now, and how many. You can name friends.
There's family in Australia.
I was just going to say, you can name friends all over the planet. Like, just because somebody's posting something on social media doesn't mean they don't have a close network of friends. They just might not be geographically close. So how are you going to get that support? Yeah, you can phone somebody up.
But also, so, I don't know, for an example, right? You go down to the corner shop and your corner shop man can see you're upset. He goes, oh, what's up? And you can explain, oh, me uncle's died.
Yeah, I don't realise that's going to be all over the podcast now.
No, you can go. We're in no way, shape, or form endorsed by Vaseline.
You can go, oh yeah. He goes, oh, what's up? You go, oh yeah, just a bit sad. Me uncle's died. In theory, that is somewhat the same as putting a Facebook status up, because you don't really know the guy, but you're telling him how you feel.
But it's
and
human
portraying
interaction.
How you feel.
It's contact
that you're having
through
that now.
I don't think it's the same level though, because it's nowhere near the bandwidth that it is not big enough. It's
if I was something really serious happened to me or upset happened to me, not big enough. If something really bad happened to me and you were texting me at the time, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to speak to you later. Oh, I'm really upset at the moment, Tim. I'll speak to you later.
Right.
That's what I'd say. I'd say I'll speak to you later. I wouldn't text you and tell you what happened. I wouldn't text you and say, oh, my granddad's just passed away. I'd wait and tell you face to face. That's how I go about that situation. Or call you.
Yeah, but obviously with news like that anyway, like most
exactly.
People
so why do we do that? So why do we do that? Why do we wait? Why wouldn't we just text it? Because there's loads of different forms of communication, and I'd say that, and we've had this discussion before, Elliot and I, that social media is the lowest form of Well,
I
you
feel
called
like-
it bandwidth. You
Yeah,
imagine it like a
I
wireless
feel
router.
like
It's
it's
not though, man.
it
It
is
is,
because
Well-
because there's no like if social media for information is great, but like if I'm tweeting something out or I'm texting someone, better yet, I'm texting someone. For me, on my end, it comes across in maybe a jokey way, but then on the other end, they don't know how I've said it, so they can
Yeah.
interpret as
Yeah,
in a shitty way. So that's what we mean by the bandwidth, is it's different, and you can't, and we maybe
right.
humans will be able to unlock that one day and be able to
it's
communicate
like
fully, but
if I send
right
you a
now we
text,
can't.
If I send you a text and go fuck yourself, Tim. Right. What's the difference between me going, go fuck yourself, Tim, or Tim, go fuck yourself? Do you know what I mean?
Whoosh.
Yeah, like it's whereas if I picked up on the phone and said that, you'd be able to hear exactly the difference between me playing around and me telling you to do one. So that's where you level off that a phone call has got higher bandwidth than social media, texting, and then above that is face-to-face communication.
Yeah.
Which I think is why like FaceTime was
But
one of the best things
Yeah,
that
but
ever
that's
came
why
out.
arguments. That's
I
why
hate FaceTime.
so many arguments start on social media.
Oh yeah. So many. How many times do you see it? Like Twitter, people going back and forth on tweets. It's like you probably didn't even mean that in the beginning.
Taken out of context,
Yeah.
it looks like something else.
Here's something else that I know it was on social media, therefore I feel like I can wind it into a topic, but it's really interesting. I kind of want your guys' take on it. I was on Facebook the other day, and I was going down my feed, and this picture came up, and it was I've had friends that have just come back from Poland, but,
All
they,
the shit with
but they
Auschwitz.
didn't go to the Auschwitz museum.
You seen all that?
Yeah, right, yeah.
No.
So basically, all these photos came out, tourist photos.
What's it called?
Of just
Type in Auschwitz
Auschwitz.
photos.
yeah, and there was a massive backlash because it was touristy photos, people taking selfies, people jumping like, you know, like the jump pose on a. On
I mean, I've just put in Auschwitz photos, and it's just like
Is it people
no,
posing?
no, it's the actual stuff.
Type,
Cool photos.
type in like people posing at Auschwitz.
Yeah,
like-
just the Auschwitz tourist photos, and the backlash on social media has been absolutely huge. But here's the question.
I think I did
I-
hear something about it.
Here's me being naive. Do you pay to go to? Do you
Yeah.
pay to go to Auschwitz?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm presuming that
I mean, one of them.
payment must go to
I imagine
some sort of
Well,
function.
Museum.
no,
museum.
it'll go to the upkeep of the place,
Yeah.
Yeah,
the restorations that need to be done.
but I'm sure some money will go into.
It'll go to like
It'll go-
Poland, maybe
Yeah,
the charity.
like-
No,
Oh,
but I'm
it'll-
saying in
the
some-
Polish
some-
economy.
the Polish economy.
Oh yeah, it'd be huge.
Okay, right.
Well, it's like
so
the
where
Queen-
do
it's
we
like the
draw the
Queen in
line?
ours.
Where do we draw the line then? Okay, between making something. It is educational, and a lot of people go for educational purposes. But at the end of the day, it's a tourist attraction.
Yeah, but
People go
you're
there
not
just to
gonna
watch
go to
it.
a cemetery and
No, but the cemetery hasn't been made a tourist attraction.
no, but right. If you go to the
Well, on the contrary, there's a picture here of someone like posing with on a grave.
yeah, like
like-
when you go to what's it called in Paris?
The
The
catacombs.
catacombs.
Yeah.
They're where people are buried. People go and
I feel like it's
Explore
but
that.
I feel like it's different with Auschwitz.
One of the first pictures
Because-
though is this girl in a pink shirt, and she's got a biggest grin on her face.
Yeah, but Elliot, that's actually nothing compared to what.
Yeah.
there's people who've been like on the railroad on the
railroad,
railway
yeah.
tracks, like balancing.
This is why I think you can't compare.
It's
the,
just disrespectful.
this is why I can't compare the thing with Paris with Auschwitz, because the catacombs is obviously just like that's natural death, but Auschwitz isn't just a
Yeah, it's
graveyard.
murder.
Oh my
it's
god,
murder,
that is awful.
and it's the site of
Yeah, like that's fucking
yeah,
horrendous.
and
like.
it's the
That's
site of
disgusting.
you
So-
know.
You feel like we're losing. Is your point that we're losing touch with being
No, I feel like-
caring humans?
No,
'Cause this is what I think.
Well, yeah, obviously, but that if you look at all those photos, that's our generation.
Yeah, but those dickheads are thinking, oh, how many lights gonna go?
No,
on
but this is what I'm
Facebook?
saying. We're all well and good complaining about it, but the people that are complaining about it are also the people that have said, you know, oh, you can't come back here or whatever, or we're gonna fine you and stuff like that. They're the same people that have made it into a place to come and visit, in which money is being pumped
Yeah,
into
but
the
how
Polish
can you
economy from it.
how can you
I'm
not
not-
have that as a place where that is one of the most important places on earth?
Yeah, but then put all of
Historic.
but then I'd say put all of the
The
money
money.
that goes back into it into upkeep and
Well, it will.
to some sort of survivors fund. No, but this is why I asked you. Just Google for me now. I want to know this. Just where all the proceeds. I will completely retract my statement if I find out 100% of the proceeds go to either the upkeep of the place or.
The Polish government must make money off it.
Well, I
'cause
think
it's a
that's-
massive
well, they will
money
do.
making scheme, I'd imagine. As horrible as that sounds for something
Right,
so
exactly.
delicate.
So it's a massive money making scheme. So
I spell Auschwitz.
and yet
AU.
we're condemning the people.
SCHW.
Got it.
You know, are they the real? This is what I was asking. Are they really the? I know that what they did is awful, but are they really the monsters, or are the monsters the people that are fucking tolling them at the gate?
I'm not calling them
no, but
monsters. I just think
it'll
they're
be-
very
it-
insensitive to think, right, I'm at Auschwitz, I'm gonna fucking get my selfie out. You know, like, it's one of them.
If I went to something like that, I don't think I'd say.
Just
I
courtesy.
love everyone knows I love taking photos. I love taking videos. You know, I love documenting where I go. It's one of probably when I assess myself, one of my flaws, in that I live too much.
Okay, here we go.
Through
I've
my
got
phone
the
camera.
thing.
But I wouldn't take any photos or video with that.
Okay, so this is I can't find the thing, but they spend 1.4 million on the camp every
On the
year
grounds.
on the grounds,
Right.
like keeping it upkeep. So 62% of that money spent on the grounds comes from the actual museum. 20% of it comes from the Ministry of Culture,
So it gets funding.
Auschwitz Foundations, special funds of Ministry and History, the EU sponsor it.
Yeah.
Who else? And then like 1% is like national heritage foundations and stuff like that. So they obviously put a lot of money into it, and so.
But that isn't Polish. That isn't the Polish government's money. All of that.
No, but
Well, how much percent of it was the Polish government's money? Out of interest?
none of it.
No.
Well, it's
That's all the funding they're getting.
that's the
Yeah.
funding that the
So
places
yeah.
get.
So, but I want to know is
I can't find that
where
yet.
does their
yeah.
intake
But
of
they're
money
probably
go?
not-
Must go back to all them.
Well,
surely.
62% of 1.4 million is funded directly by the museum.
Mm.
So I mean, it won't all go in, but it's like the UK. We get trillions of pounds from people visiting Buckingham Palace.
I know, but Buckingham Palace isn't the site of a mass genocide.
Yeah.
No, but it's
Do you
the
know what I
same.
mean?
It's the same thing, though.
It's not.
It's
not.
No, it is because it's a tourist attraction. Not. I'm not talking the sentimental value behind it.
No, Elliot, it's not the same thing. Like we put money, like the way the tax system here works and stuff like that. Like it's rewarding. It's given reward. Like we get. I'm not a massive fan of the royals.
The royal family are Nazi sympathisers.
Right,
anyway.
I'm not a massive fan of the royals.
We're not getting
But,
into that conspiracy.
But like
Why are you
I
not?
understand,
Why are you not?
I understand what they do for like I understand that
I don't
like the
think
tourism,
that is a
the
load of
tour,
bollocks.
like that's where I see the tourism aspect of it and its
Bollocks.
tradition.
Bollocks.
What's bollocks?
Bollocks.
Come on then, Tim. Don't say that.
No, because
Give me
so
fight
they
your
are-
corner with
No, I know.
education and knowledge, and not
No, but
and not
right,
bollocks.
I understand.
He's a nonce.
No, I understand. Right, they'll make a little bit of money for the government with the tourism, right? But it's fucking bollocks.
£400 million
Right,
a
400
year.
right, in the grand
That's a
scheme
lot.
of in the grand
That's
scheme
a
of
lot.
things, it's not.
That-
In the grand scheme of things, it's not that much.
They are
400 mil.
400
That's not
mil
that much, man.
is
How do we know that's directly what they make a year for the
Because
government?
Google told us.
Oh yeah, because that's a be all and end all,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's a
Right,
load
hang
of
on.
bollocks.
Yeah, but it's a
man.
load of bollocks. But then explain
It's
your
people
point.
that are born into power.
Yeah.
Oh
Never
no,
have to
no.
work.
The family brings 1.8 billion per year.
Bollocks! There's no chance they make just under 2 billion.
The Queen takes 15% of the Crown Estate's profits. That's fine. 15%.
No, it's not.
It is
Yeah,
because
No, she does fuck all.
Yeah, but
She's done
Tim,
fuck all for all her life.
Yeah, but Tim, what's the difference between that and loads of the royal family is just a famous.
A load of inbred people.
No, Harry and William have done 2 tours of Afghanistan.
Yeah, but
Oh my god, you're fucking dumb if you think they properly served.
They were Apache helicopter drivers.
Fucking word, man. They might, right, there's no chance they would have served, because imagine if they died.
Where are you getting this information that they haven't?
Served.
Okay, right, let's...
There's no chance they would have served.
I've seen an interview.
They would have... Do you not understand how staged these things would have been, man? Do you genuinely believe...
Like that interview where he's halfway through an interview and then runs off?
Then runs off. Do you not think it's a bit convenient that it's being filmed and then apparently they need his help? Bollocks, man.
What do you mean need his help? He's a fucking Apache helicopter driver.
Do you genuinely believe that the Queen's grandchildren would have been fighting on the front line?
Yeah.
Apache... No, listen to me. Apache helicopter drivers.
Right, so what's that? They're on the front line with the helis?
Yeah.
Right,
They're flying people in and out, bro.
Bollocks.
That's a proper dangerous job.
You've got a history degree.
Yeah.
Right? Throughout history, right?
Yeah.
Up until a certain point, the leader of a nation or whatever would have led the country into war. Right, and did they not?
The leader of a nation.
Right, they started to come further back in that, right?
Yeah.
In regards to
that.
No,
but it depends
so
on.
There's no
depends
way
on
God's
what nation.
know.
It depends on what nation and like the French, like they would a lot of the time.
It was their choice to be deployed there, and their choice to.
They've been on the front line.
You're not listening to what we're saying. We're not saying the front line. We're saying they're Apache helicopter drivers, which is actually just as dangerous. Well, it's not just as dangerous, but it's fucking dangerous.
They're picking up.
No, they're not. They're fighting.
They're fighting.
An Apache helicopter has got missiles and stuff. No,
you're thinking. Picked up injured soldiers.
No, you're thinking of a Chinook, which is the long one.
I just wanted you to say that word. Chinook.
No, they serve.
But it's like a Jewish insult. Chinook.
But the fact, if someone says to me that royal family is irrelevant, then you've just knocked out a massive part of our economy if you get rid of them.
The thing is, right, I don't know why
There's no way we're going to get rid of them.
No, but they don't bring a negative impact in, so that's why I don't mind them, really. There's no negative impact, but also, the royal family is just a famous version of loads of other families, maybe not on the same scale, that were inherited into money. If that's your point, saying that they've done fuck all and they get all this money, well, the list could probably go on and on of families in Britain that have inherited money and have had to do fuck all.
Yeah.
The only difference is they're followed every day with cameras and live in probably the biggest gap. Like, that's not... And think about it in this way, they didn't ask for that. They could fucking hate it for, you know.
Yeah, but if you go back further enough in their timeline, they're all power mad people.
Yeah, but my ancestors could have been fucking absolute... You know,
but you can't blame someone just because of the family they were born in and the history that their family did. If you want to blame someone, you go back in time and have a go at the people who started that family.
What would you say about all the, the children of the SS and stuff that had absolutely nothing to do, the grandkids of the SS, great grandkids? You can't hold
it with any of that.
Because like from your logic, then we should hold them responsible for their great grandkids.
My logic is just that. In our society today, the royal family is totally redundant.
It's not. It produces 1.8 billion pounds.
There's not a chance it creates that much.
But it creates money.
Show me this. I want to see this shit.
What happens there?
It creates a lot of money.
It creates a lot of money just on tourism alone.
Which makes it relevant.
And creates jobs.
So don't pay tax.
But if they're giving,
now that
don't pay tax, they're also above the law.
No, they're not.
No, they are.
Well,
if can't go to prison.
If they can. If 85,
just pardon herself. Right?
No, she's not.
She's
not
got
that
power.
kind of power
Look
anymore,
at the shit. What happened with Philip when he crashed the car into that lady? Right. What happened?
Yeah, but no one saw it.
Yeah.
No one saw it conveniently. Ooh.
No, but I think do you realise the little power she's got now in terms of like?
No, I understand the power's waned.
Yeah.
I understand that.
But if they're giving 85% of their revenue to the government every year,
but you know, right? So 15%, right, that they're keeping.
Yeah.
Right, that they have earned from doing jack squat. Like Jack.
Yeah, but
Tim, hang on, I'm sorry. Stop. Tim, it's like if I said if millions and millions of tourists, Chinese people, South American people, if I sat you down in the middle of London,
cost us, the taxpayers, 344 million.
Right, but they make that back.
But if I double,
But you were paying for someone to sit on their arse all day. Right, we'll go to Africa for a week and then.
Yeah, but that's the country we live in. If you're not happy with it, fuck off to South Africa then.
It's like if I sat you down in the middle of London and tourists came and visited you every day, right? And you brought in all this money, would you not expect some of it? So you can't slander them for taking 15%. If you're sat there, right? Like, imagine people coming, standing outside your gaff and taking photos every day, non-stop.
I wouldn't think, right, I've earned that money, I should take it.
No, but if somebody else is getting money off that, if I was getting money off everyone coming and sitting outside your gaff, I'm sat at my gaff absolutely loving life, chilling on loads of money, and you're sat there with photographers outside your window. You know your sister can't leave the house without needing blacked out windows in the car.
But why is it right? Why is it fair for someone to be born into something, right?
It's not.
It's not fair.
It's fucking bollocks.
It's not fair, but there's no difference. You could say that about anybody. If Elliot ends up being a billionaire.
Yeah, but I've got no doubt that he's probably worked his way towards that.
Yeah, but
so why it's unfair though.
But that's not unfair.
Of course it's unfair.
It's not. It's,
to be born into something is unfair.
Yeah, but
for another kid who lives in Hume down there.
So someone. Okay, but then so you're hating on Harry and William for being born into that situation. It wasn't their choice. They didn't have any control over it. No control over it. They weren't that sperm in his balls that swam into the Queen. No disrespect to the Queen, but. The sperm didn't go, oh, I know what family this is, I'm going to fight up my way to get there.
And this day and age,
it says there, right, that each royal basically cost the British taxpayer about 20 million a year.
But they make
how much do they make? 1.8 billion?
For our economy.
They don't make, where does it say 1.4?
I just put in the royal family revenue per year.
Right.
It's there. You can't blame someone or a family for being in the position that they're in. We live in a monarchy, a monarchy-driven country. Even though, when it comes to making decisions for the country, they do very little. But we can't blame them for being that way. If you want to blame someone, you're blaming Henry VIII or some shit like that.
Look at the amount of successful people that have come from nothing. I don't think it's that much of a big deal now to say, oh, I came from wealth or I didn't come from wealth. Regardless, if you work hard enough, you'll get where you need to get to. I understand there's elements of luck.
Interesting fact, actually, people who came from no money at all. I can't remember what it said exactly, but the amount of millionaires that came from nothing has now overtaken those that came from wealth.
Yeah.
So, it's a great world that we're living in.
New money mindset, man.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And if fair enough. They may not do a lot for us physically, but financially they will.
I think it's a load of bollocks.
You just done it now. Yeah, 1.8 in tourism. So yeah, okay, they might cost us X, but they make it back.
So put it this way, we're getting a good deal.
Yeah, we are.
We're getting a good deal, bro.
How are we not getting a good deal?
They don't do anything detrimental to us, apart from financially, if that's the argument that you want to say. But then we get.
Well, they don't financially.
I was just about to say, but that gets overturned. So apart from that, what do they do that's bad?
I just don't like the royal family.
That's what it boiled down to. That's what I was waiting for you to say.
Like
do you know what I mean?
I just don't like the royal family.
And you don't have to like them.
You don't have to like them.
Tim, I said this in the start. I don't particularly like the royals, but I can understand. To the right, there we are. But I can understand why people love them. A lot of people at school loved them, and I found that really annoying. It's like the people that think the sun shines out their backside.
I just don't get.
My family still make us fucking stand up to watch the Queen's Christmas Day.
Fuck me.
Christmas Day talk around.
My grandma. Every time my grandma turns up and that's on, she fucking says that bitch needs hanging. Because there's no fucking. She's just pointless, man. It's a load of bollocks.
Right. Apart from
the fact that it brings us more to our economy.
It's about money, man. Not everything's about money.
She's probably the money that we've got from her is probably paid to pave half the streets of Manchester's roads.
No. The taxpayers' money's paid for that. There's no way the Queen's anything out of pocket for any other person.
No, I'm not saying the Queen's directly paid. I'm saying the money that
She gives it if she.
that income the country's got through her just sitting on a little throne, through tourism, through other things.
But a lot of money goes back into the country, which is our NHS, which costs a lot. St Jude's Hospital in America is because America doesn't have healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
St Jude's Hospital costs 1.3 million a day to run. That's a day. Oh wait, no, I think it's even worse. I think it's like per hour. No, I think it's per hour.
Per hour?
Yeah.
So 1.5 million an hour, basically.
Yeah. So
what the fuck?
So.
That'd be a tidy wage, wouldn't it?
But think about it. If our NHS is quadrillion the size of that, and it's St Jude's Hospital is only a few around America, and it costs 1.3 billion an hour. How much will the NHS cost to run an hour?
I mean, there's a lot of fat Americans. And there's a lot more Americans as well.
No. Don't get started on the NHS.
Is there anything you like? God,
I
you
know.
what? I hope.
And say, I thought you were gonna chat shit about the NHS.
No, this is what I'm saying. But a lot of people would, and this is what I'm saying that really frustrates me at the end of the day. And I'm not going to go on about that. Oh, well, look,
the NHS. The NHS
blah, blah, blah.
spends £1 billion every 3 days.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Queen has paid for 3 days.
Yeah.
Of the NHS.
That figure will be a lot less since I've had my tonsils out. They've not had to be giving me medication.
Yeah. So we agree the NHS is messed up. Like, it could be so much better.
Yeah, it could be, but
it's
the
around
amount of stuff, the amount of good it's provided people.
Oh yeah, it's undoubted.
Yeah, we won't
Jesus, I mean, if you've seen some of the pictures of American hospital bills, it's,
no, I just think
that is scary. If you break
that
your
is-
arm, you're looking at £2,000.
But it's ridiculous how you fucking walk into a hospital in America and your fucking arm could be severed off,
Yeah.
and you have to literally write in a form with your details, with your do you have to fill it in with your bank details?
No, you don't.
Right.
What?
In America?
In America? Oh yeah, you will. Yeah.
How fuck's that? You've severed your arm off and you got to go in and fucking sign bank details.
Yeah, the same
Fuck,
country
bro.
though that carries around
Guns.
shotguns on the.
Fuck that scary shit.
Someone got administered a band-aid, which is plaster, obviously. Got charged $600 for it. For the time.
I fucking walk around
Because
with bubble wrap.
okay, so they gave him two different drugs.
I'd sue.
2 different drugs. Band-aid.
I'd sue.
$600.
But if you look at an American hospital as a business, because that's the way they have to look at it, you've got to think about hourly, how much do they have to pay all the staff, how much do they have to pay for drugs. All that amounts to, let's say, $1 million. How are you going to make that money back to cover those costs?
I just don't think it's not fair though, man. There's not a lot of people that can afford that.
It's not. So, if America wanted healthcare, which didn't Obama try and get it?
They had Obamacare.
Yeah, they had Obamacare, but
I think that was a very loose version.
Yeah.
Of what our healthcare.
Yeah,
is.
it'll be very difficult for them because a majority of America will just go. Well, if they put healthcare, they'll go, all right, we're raising your taxes by this much. They'll go, fuck that. Half of us haven't even been in hospital before. Why are we paying for someone else?
Yeah.
And it'd be a lot more difficult because there's 600 million of them. Where there's
size of the bastard, man.
Yeah, there's 80 million of us.
Yeah. Right, I want to open up a question, right? Because I feel like we've all got contrasting views on the situation, right? What's his stance on if there's a higher being, if there's a God? Because I've been told a story about you and Lords.
Yeah.
And
I know which one you're talking about.
And what you're thinking about. I also know what your stance is. Or somewhat.
I've grown. So the story that Tim's referring to is the story of my elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people who don't know, I'm a gymnast of 20 years. And when I was about 14, I got diagnosed with Panner's disease in my elbow, which is a disease where the bone on the femur doesn't develop properly. So, or well, not just a femur, any joint. So it doesn't develop properly. I can't actually straighten my arm straight. Now if I just
Too much
If that-
nipple for before.
it doesn't straighten fully because of it. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it doesn't straighten fully, so it got so bad, so I couldn't actually extend my arm further than there, which was horrible. Like it was physically impossible for me to move it any further than that. So went to the doctors and you know, they diagnosed me with it. We tried different therapies. We tried loads of different ultrasounds, tablets, you name it, everything. We tried everything.
And then they gave you
That
the
worked.
Jesus juice.
Well, when the doctor said, he said, look, that ain't getting better. You ain't going to ever compete again, let alone train again. So I smacked him in the face, which was quite funny. But then when I was still 14, 15, me, my mum, dad and my brother we were on a trip to Barcelona. My dad was working in Barcelona as his business trip, so we went out. And on the south of France, below Barcelona, there's a place.
Sorry, can I just say that again?
The south of France.
France, below Barcelona.
Yeah.
Barcelona's in Spain.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, above Barcelona. I meant above. Sorry, you know what I meant.
Hang on, no.
Above Barcelona.
No worries, Barcelona's there.
Barcelona's there, and
Yeah,
south
yeah.
of France, just go coast
Right.
essentially.
I was going to say below Barcelona.
So
No, in theory it could be because if Barcelona's there.
The geography isn't important, I guess. I don't know why I raised the point.
So we went up to. So my dad was like, you know, Lords is a 3-hour drive away, and it was like, what's Lords?
Yeah, I
And
feel like we need to put the music in there for that.
so you know what Lords is. Lords is where this little Bernadette girl
Yeah.
saw the Mother of Christ and drank the water from the spring and then started healing people. So honestly, it was at the point in my life where, and I don't tell many people this, but it was a time, you know, I was in Barcelona, and a few months earlier I tried taking my own life, which was a very low point because the thing that had, you know, that I loved had been taken away from me, essentially.
Yeah.
So I was out of options, so depressed, and I just said, my dad was like, Lords is 3 hours away, so I was like, fuck it, what the fuck, why not? You know. So we went, drank the water, put it on my elbow, and a month later I got cleared for training again. So part of me was like, fuck, yeah, I believe in something now. But then, now that I look back on it, hindsight, it was I don't know. I can't answer the question whether there's a higher being or not. But if I was to look at it logically, I would say my mindset changed into a more positive way, and that helped me heal my body.
So you to the yes or no, let's just say make it as a yes or no, you'd say no.
No. I would say
And you only reckon your elbow is healed because of what? The way you
So humans as a whole, we are so powerful in terms of what we can achieve, and the mind, and I learnt this through that experience, is the mind can make your body achieve so much just by thinking of it. If you think every day, I'm going to get better, I'm going to get better, I'm going to get better. Obviously, in some cases, that's never going to happen.
You can make yourself ill, can't you?
Yeah, but you can make yourself ill just by thinking about it, so you're going to get ill. So I feel like me going to Lords and then going, yep, done this, I'm going to get better now. It was the switch
You
in my...
reckon it's more psychological?
100% it was psychological. I mean, ever since... That was the first major injury I ever had. And I proved doctors wrong by going, no, I'm going to train again. Fuck you, I'm going to train, I'm going to compete. And I have. And I've had a very successful career. And ever since that experience, I've constantly been proving doctors wrong. You know, I dislocated my knee. They said, you're not going to walk for 6 weeks, you're not going to train for 9 weeks. I was walking after 3, training after 4. You know, and broken bones. That's my favourite.
I've never broken anything, touch wood.
Touch wood. broken bones is the best, but doctors tell you 6 weeks in a cast. It actually only takes 3 weeks for a bone to heal. Why do they tell you 6 weeks? Insurance.
Oh really?
Yeah, they want to doubly check that you've healed. Because if you go back to the gym or whatever and you break the same bone, you're gonna go, oh well, the fucking doctor told me to do this and that, and you sue them.
No way.
But yeah.
You reckon, Salah?
I don't know. Listening to Elliot's story, it sort of highlighted a bit of a point to me that. So I believe that there is like a deity, but I'm just not sure in what form he is, and I don't think we necessarily are supposed to understand.
But do you believe he's?
I believe
God?
in the existence
Allah?
of a.
Buddha?
I don't know. I just know that I'm sure there is this. I believe in a creator. I believe that this it's if you look at the intricacy of everything on the planet, it can't just be that.
Yeah, I think
from my point of view, from my point of view, it's not sheer luck. But what from Elliot's story, what I'm getting at, and I'm not saying this is Elliot, but I'm saying this is a lot of people, and it makes me makes my eyes roll so far into the back of my head when I hear people say it's like, I had this experience and now I believe and all that.
What, these born again?
Yeah, right. Yeah, but also I believe in God now because my car ran off the road,
and I survived.
Off the edge of a waterfall, and the car and the window broke so I could get out. I believe in God now.
And the car grew wings.
There was this whole divine intervention thing. It's like, if there is a God, which I believe there is, or some form of deity, you should have that belief. It shouldn't take having to.
Yeah, but having an example realization of that. Though for some people.
Yeah, but still,
shit. There must be someone looking over me.
But you're only giving that your belief to that deity because they've done something to you, and what's the logic in that? It's like, I'm only going to believe in you if you help me. It's like, have you ever prayed in your life, ever?
Yeah.
Do you believe in God?
No.
Have you prayed to make sure a loved one's okay, to make sure something... I've done this as well.
No, I prayed.
Would you not see that though as just a form of making yourself feel better?
Not necessarily, no.
No, I prayed because I was brought up in a very Irish Catholic family.
Yeah.
Where we went to church every Sunday.
But have you never had a scenario where you've prayed...
I've not. I can say. I've not prayed for about 10 years.
Yeah, but I'm not. That's not the question. I'm saying when there's a problem, have you ever prayed for it to get better?
Recently?
Well, no.
Just in general.
In general.
Whilst
not believing in God.
Whilst not believing, no.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. But a lot of people do that. I've done that in the past, and I just think it's like, if God exists, why should if God exists, I understand why he's pissed off sometimes, because look at all the people that only want something, that only will give something if they get something. Like, oh, please make sure my nana's okay, God. Have you ever prayed to me before? Have you ever... If God is a businessman, we're in a lot of trouble. Seriously. If God is a businessman, we're in a lot of trouble because...
Another thing that makes me not believe in God is what happened at the end of last year.
But you've defo prayed.
Of course I have.
Exactly, you've definitely
because you get to the point where you've got nothing else to lose.
Yeah, exactly. But
that's me like me going, there's nothing for me else in the world, so therefore, what is there? Maybe there might be a slight hope that there's someone up there.
Yeah.
But
if he is up there,
why
the fuck would he listen? Out of all the people in the world, right? And there's fucking tons of religious people. Say you split it, 10% for different random faiths and everything like that. Say there's 10% of people that have looked out and the faith that they believe in is the faith. Right?
I don't get that.
Right? Is the faith
it's convenient? My God's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But say Islam is the faith, and Allah is the God, Muhammad is the prophet, right. Jesus was just
another prophet.
Yeah, right. So what's that? That the rest of the world
are lying.
Not lying.
They're wrong
at all. But are wrong.
Okay,
But
so
but say those people, that 10%, it's not fair on them who believe in it and do all these things, pray 5 times a day, blah blah blah.
oh,
You know,
so
like,
it's not right for them to
it's not,
be ridiculed
like,
or
no. What I'm saying is, if let's take it for argument's sake, Allah. If Allah's busy with the people that are worshipping him, not the people that come to him once a year because their nana's dying and wants help.
Yeah.
If I was him, I wouldn't be interested. You're coming to me now, you need me. I'm very much that kind of person.
Yeah, but
in
then
the sense of that, if someone needs my help, obviously I'm going to help
yeah,
them
but
out.
then
So do you pray?
No, but I come from a family which religiously prays 5 times a day, eats halal haribo.
Right,
and,
no, I understand
so,
that.
but,
Yeah,
but for example, what you're saying then is like that's so. Let's flip the coin a bit and put it onto Christianity. God is all loving. No, he's not.
Mm.
So if okay,
Kids
so
get cancer.
yeah, kids get cancer. If God thinks Stephen Fry, have you seen it? Stephen Fry did a video, perfectly captions it. If he goes to heaven and he's at the gates of St. Peter and St. Peter goes, you know, do you think you deserve to be in it? And Stephen Fry went, no, I don't want to be here because your God's a mean person. He lets kids that can't even think for themselves die.
Yeah.
You know, if we don't want to talk about kids, you know, would you say my dad is a bad person?
No.
He's a very nice person, isn't he?
Yeah.
Would God let him get in the position he did last year?
Mhm.
Death's door.
I just don't.
You know,
I just don't
when
understand the concept.
when people were
Yeah, but
like,
look at him. He came out the other side. This is the thing that I'm.
Yeah,
from. I come from the stance that maybe it's
that
just how
was-
I've been brought up because I've had such a religious
But that was on a knife.
upbringing in a certain space. Yeah, but on a certain aspect is like from a lot of how religious people see it and how my family would see it is
It's balance for the world.
not even that. Just like there's if your faith wasn't tested, it's not a faith at all.
I don't
Like,
think-
if you went through life believing in God and never once either questioned it or had to feel like you had to turn to him or went through a bad situation, it's not faith because it's just comfort.
Right, so that brings up what you were saying before about when your car goes off a hill, where
Yeah.
people just suddenly believe in
they're
a
just
God.
coming up with an excuse
No, but
of why it happened.
but that's I was talking about people that haven't believed in God, and then all of a sudden believe in him because
Well, I think at some point in everyone's life there has been somewhat of a form of belief to a higher person.
but that's because we want to, regardless. Any human, the mindset is, oh my God, we're gonna die. I don't know what's coming next.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where do you reckon like religion came from, man? Just like fucked up hippies in the desert. Who
no,
smoked too much weed?
religion was what religion was. This is gonna sound fucking awful. The bad man's science of the age. We us as humans, we love to explain shit. We love to explain things.
Yeah, but do you not just reckon it was a load
Do you
of
not
hippies
think-
who smoked too much weed and they were sat down and thinking,
Maybe.
shit, burning bush.
Maybe.
No,
yeah,
no.
yeah, that's a good thing. But maybe imagine this: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John get reincarnated, or they get brought back to life through major science in 1,000,000 years' time. Let's say that happens. They find the remains, and Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John go, "Oh, that got out of hand,
Yeah,
didn't it?
shit.
Our storytelling got a bit, ooh, you know.
Got a bit
How many
too much.
wars have been created because of religion?
Yeah.
How many people have died at the hands of religion? If God really exists, He wouldn't let us do any of that.
No, but that's
but there's free
no,
will,
no,
that's
no,
convenient.
No, but that's that's what I'm saying. That's assuming we know the extent of. Right, everyone looks at religion like we've got it bob on, like we've got.
No, we don't.
No. Everyone looks at religion in their own religion.
Oh, as in, like, we know
we've got
what's
this
right, yeah.
Bob on. God can do this.
Yeah.
God can't do this. We can do this.
Yeah.
When in reality, God might not be this all powerful being. Maybe he created the world.
Might be the guy who just jerked off in
Maybe
like
create the
above or
world.
somewhere. There you go.
But who one day thought, oh yeah, who sat there and made the rules going, right, so, and it was all made for our own human agenda. So God's not happy if you like men. God's not happy if you're black.
But everyone's
God's
made
not
in the image
happy
of God.
if you think.
This is why it's too convenient for
But
me.
this is why a lot of extremist religious people believe that being gay is a choice because in their head it's like there's no way
But everyone's
God
made in the image
created
of God.
somebody like this.
It's a load. I just don't understand as a concept. If you take, right, I've said it before, if you take all religious books and all science books, scrap
Get
them,
rid of them.
Get them gone. In
1,000
1,000
years.
years, science comes back, religion is just in a different form. It's with aliens.
Yeah, the
now.
same science had come out because we know gravity exists and shit like that.
Yeah.
But then different religious books would come out. Don't play with that, bro. Not on
Fucking
this.
terrifying.
Yeah, not on this, bro. Not when we're set off now. Yeah. So it's like it's too convenient, and that's why I brought up the situation with my dad. Is people had messaged going, "Oh, I'm praying for him" and stuff like that. God saves the good ones. It's like, well, if God fucking existed, He wouldn't let him in the first place be in this position. You know, if God's gonna save him, why did God put him there in the first place and make him suffer the way He did? You know,
I disagree because I feel like hasn't your dad come out with a different mindset on life?
that's not fair. That's
it's
Life's
a good
not
point,
fair,
man.
No,
It's
no,
a good
but-
point.
Life's not
yeah,
fair.
but
Dad-
so
your
you're
dad's had a
saying
very
You're
God.
telling me your dad is not. Your dad is not.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying you honestly think someone. I'm not saying you believe in him, but I'm just saying you think God is so fucked up in the head that he'd go, you know what?
That's a life lesson.
I'm gonna make that guy suffer beyond anything he's ever felt, and most humans in the world will never feel, just so he can gain a little bit of enlightenment.
Did you do the same thing with your elbow?
What?
I sat with you when you found out about your elbow, and I saw
Yeah.
you in absolute bits. Look at now. I definitely think that was a career-defining moment.
Yeah, but
in my life.
I refuse to believe that it was God that saved him. I would.
All I'm saying is
all-
you're looking at it as if these massive traumatic events that happen in life, which you say God can't possibly, if He existed, why would He possibly do it? You're looking at these massive traumatic events as if there is no positive that comes out the other
No,
side.
I never said that.
When in
I
general-
actively acknowledge
Well, then-
it.
well, then
No,
exactly,
I actively have said this many times.
Yeah,
It
so
is-
maybe that's the
it is
reason
a
why.
blessing mentally that
Yeah.
it happened. However, I refuse
It's
to
not,
concede.
is
No, it is.
No, it's
No.
Because
The,
your man over there
No,
really
but-
fucking struggles with it.
yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
but- yeah,
no.
but
We're not
that'll make
talking.
him better in
yeah,
the end as well.
in the end, it'll make him better. It all depends how you handle it. We're getting off the topic. The topic I'm talking about is that it was very unfortunate that happened, and it was the luck of the draw. God didn't put him there just as much as God didn't get him out. He mentally got himself out with the support of everyone around him. No higher being did that for him. No higher being put in there. No higher being got him out. Right?
We don't know
I said this to.
We don't know that.
I said
We
to.
don't know that. We
No,
don't
but
know that.
I refuse to believe that though because of the fact if God was such a nice guy or
Yeah.
whatever, yeah, he wouldn't have put him in there in the first place. What he would have done is gone, Chris, you need to go up onto a mountain for 20 years and gain the enlightenment. That's what he really
No, but
would
maybe you
have done.
couldn't do that from
Yeah,
going up
but
onto
you
a
see,
mountain for 20
that's
years.
different though. You see, you can't.
Elliot, look at how we
Yeah,
did
but
with
you
the coffee.
can't
Look at how
say
we did
to
with
me-
the coffee company, right? We slogged through shit.
Yeah.
Slogged through shit. Dealt with some shitty people, right?
Yeah.
Your
I
dad
think-
turned to us at the end of that, right? And I'm not saying your dad is God, but I'm using that as like a thing, right? Your dad turned to us and went, "Listen, I know you went through fucking shit,
Yeah.
but it's made you better men and better people."
I'm not saying it's not making them
But
better.
in
the
that
benefits,
sense,
the
we would have turned around
benefits
to
of
your
it
dad and
happen.
gone, "If you loved us, why the fuck would you make us do that?"
No, that's you're totally misconstruing everything. I'm not saying
Just did that out of your
I'm-
own free will.
I'm
true.
very I'm in the hindsight I'm thankful that I'm not thankful of what it put us through,
No.
but I'm thankful of what we gained from it.
Yeah.
I actively acknowledge and I preach this day after day. Humans only get stronger from bad times. I have never once said that we shouldn't go through shit. We should always go through shit to grow.
Yeah.
You're thinking I'm saying I wish it never happened. Yeah, okay, I wish it never happened. I'm so glad what we got out of it. We got a more appreciation of life, got a more appreciation of family and situation. All I am saying is that God did not do any of that.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
That's it.
Yeah.
You were like, but you fucking don't appreciate what he's done for you. No, fucking appreciate everything, mate.
Yeah.
More than most.
what I'm saying
we
is-
gained from that experience, 99% of society and people in the world will never be able to gain that from what it happened. I got told off for saying that by the wives of certain people who went through shit. I said to them, in the long run, you'll be glad it happened, I mean, it was very blunt the way I said it. In the long run, you'd be glad it happened because you appreciate it more. And one of them said, well, I really hate you for saying that. I'm like, I understand why you hate me. And yes, if I could have gone onto a mountain and meditated for 10 years to find out what it feels like after it, I would have done it over that. You know, if someone said to me, El, your dad's going to go through hell and he probably will die, you know, he's got a 2 in 3 chance of dying, yeah? You got to do that, or you've got to go on a mountain for 10 years. Which option do you think I'm going to fucking take?
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to go up on the fucking mountain. I'm not risking my dad.
I want to go to work.
I think it might be a good place for us to finish.
Praise the Lord! Because I have to go do it.
But anyway, yeah, ads. So we'll, I think we'll leave it there because that's a good hour and 5 minutes of talking about stuff.
Random shite.
Random choice.
Yeah.
To be sure.
All right, I'll
Edit
edit.
Starbucks.
I'll edit and upload it. Okay, guys, appreciate you joining in. If you watched, please subscribe and let us know.
On the old YouTube.
Yeah, of course it is. Let us know what you thought. Any topics you want us to talk about, we'll be happy to talk about them. And we'll see you guys in the next one.